By all definitions of the word, Jacksonville, Florida is huge. It's geographically extremely large, and it has a huge population. The sheer size of Jacksonville can be overwhelming, but downtown Jacksonville amplifies this completely. With all the sights, sounds, tons of people walking around, it's a lot. My favorite part of Jacksonville is tucked right in the heart of downtown. Chamlin's Book Mine, in my opinion, is the coolest part of Jacksonville, and it really means a lot to me personally. Chamlin's has been open for 44 years, and for those 44 years, they've been buying and selling used books for all Jacksonville locals and anybody who comes to visit. In an interview with the Jacksonville Times, interviewer Charlie Patton talked to the owner of Chamlin's, Ron Chamlin, in 2016. Chamlin stated that he's collected 3.5 million books throughout the 44 years that the store has been open. By any means, 3.5 million is a lot of books, but the Book Mine is an extremely small space, so in order to fit all of those books, it's floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, and in between the aisles of shelves, there's barely enough space for a single person to fit through. It can be extremely overwhelming. I personally get overwhelmed a lot. Sometimes Walmart can even be a bit too much for me, with all the sights, sounds, lots of people, lots of colors, and it stresses me out. But Chamlin stresses me out and is overwhelming in the best way physically possible. Sometimes school, stress, family can just be a little too much for me, so I would just hop in my car and I would head on down to my magical little bookstore. I have a few things that are labeled as my happy things, and Chamlin is at the top of that list. It's just so comforting, and there's books everywhere, and it's overwhelming, but in the best way possible, it's overwhelmingly happy for me. Going to Chamlin's became a monthly event for my brother and I. We would go down to the Book Mine, walk around for hours, we'd get a book, then we'd go get some coffee, then we would go hang out in the park to read. Some students in high school, they would hang out at the mall or in the movie theater, but I was happiest in a tiny little bookstore crammed between high-rise buildings. I may not live in Jacksonville anymore, and I may not go back to visit very often, but when I do, I always have to stop in my little Narnia of books.